Hey folks, welcome to this Master Solo. Today we're going to look at Money in God We Trust. We've already looked at the riffs, of course. If you've not seen that yet, check it out. You can go and look at the whole song, we'll look at the riffs. But today we're going to look at the solo. So let's have a listen to that first phrase again. So let's start the solo. What we're going to do is play some natural harmonics. I've played with the 9th fret here. You could have done it with the 4th fret. But basically I'm doing 9th fret harmonics on the D and G strings, but I'm dipping the bar and raising up to pitch. Yeah, before we get into this next little bit. So it's just kind of a little kind of lead in. You could do a scrape or whatever. But that's what we've got in the recording. Yeah. Then what we've got is a little phrase that Nuno actually played in the Get the Funk Out solo. And there's a couple of different ways of playing this, but I'll talk about the notes. We've got a repeating kind of pentatonic bluesy thing here. And what I'm going to be playing is 5th fret at the high E string, then 8-5 on that B string with a pull off. Then I've got 8th fret of the G string. Yeah, so that little shape, little bluesy thing, crops up and Get the Funk Out. How to play it though, and particularly at this kind of tempo, looks like Nuno's probably doing a bit of his percussive thing again here, where I'm going to be playing that high note, doing the pull off, and then hammering on from nowhere in the G string. When I did that playthrough, I think I did that pull off with the 4th finger, and then the hammer on with the 3rd finger. If I remember seeing Nuno doing it live, I think he does it all with the 4th finger. Yeah, and the tricky thing about this is getting that up to speed. Yeah, so picking wise, a couple of things you could do here. You could do down, then up, then the hammer on there. You could also, if you want to, do just a downstroke on the high E string and do a hammer on from nowhere, 8th fret, pull off to 5, and then 8 on that G string, all hammer on from nowhere. The thing about it is getting nice and clean and up to tempo and making sure you don't hit the kind of 8th fret, the high E string there. So that's quite a tricky. I mean, the whole thing about the solo is it's pretty fast. We're talking about 30 seconds at 108 BPM here. So this is quite a tricky thing. So what you can do, take it nice and slow and just kind of speed it up, and you're aiming for that nice even group of 4, and you pretty much do that kind of 6 times. There's a little lead in. You hear you'll see in the transcription there's a little note before he starts it, but basically you're kind of doing that 6 times. And then we have basically picking the note, but that leads us into the kind of next phrase. So let's listen to that. This is another one of these phrases. It took me forever to get close. I'm still not 100% happy with it, but it will do for just now. If we're thinking about what we're doing here, we're playing A minor, so I'll talk about maybe intent and then the kind of execution of what actually happens here. So if I was going to play an A minor scale up the B and E strings, fret wise I'd have these little groupings. I'd have 5, 7, 8 on the B string, 5, 7, 8 on the high E string. What I then have next would be 7, 8, 10 on the B string, 7, 8, 10 on the high E string. Then I have 8, 10, 12 on the B string, 8, 10, 12 on the high E string. Then it would be 10, 12, 13 on the B string, 10, 12, 13 on the high E string. Then it would be 12, 13, 15 on the B string, and then 12, 13, 15 on the high E string. Then you'd have 13, 15, 17 on the B, 13, 15, 17 on the high string. Yeah. And then you could jump a bit and then end up playing 17, 18, 20 in the B string. And then 17, 18, 20 in the high string. Or 17, 19, 20, sorry. Yeah. So that's the kind of notes. But what Nuno's doing here is he's playing this real rapid 30-second note kind of run up the neck, that he goes up a bit and he comes back and goes up a bit. So when I was transcribing this, and I've noticed he does this live as well, the first kind of grouping is 5, 7, 8 on the B and E strings. Now picking wise, I think what Nuno's possibly doing is like picking and hammering and then picking the top string. So you've got this, yeah, so it's a one pick in the B string, hammer, hammer, and then up, down, up maybe in the top string. Yeah. The other thing to watch out for here is this is nice and even, kind of, well, it's not nice and even, but it's pretty much going for 30-second notes, not triplets. So instead of going 1 2 3 1 2 3, you want to keep that even. Yeah, I know that sounded exactly the same, but what I'm feeling there is like a da 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 da. Every note is kind of got the same duration. Yeah, so keeping those things in mind will help you kind of get this up to a close enough speed basically with it. But what actually Nuno does, in looking at the transcription, what he seems to do is 5 7 8 and that first little phrase, then he does 7 8 10 and then 7 8 11 on the high E string there, which is like a little flat 5. Yeah, so when I transcribed it, I wondered, well, maybe if he's just kind of, you know, hit that by accident, he's just going to go up the neck. But I think he's probably intentionally going for it. Probably my playthrough, I missed it because it's awkward to get that stretch. And what he does basically is we're doing 5 7 8, 5 7 8 on the high string, 7 8 10, 7 8 11. Then I'm going to do 8 10 12 on the B string, and then 8 10, and it doesn't sound like it gets to 12 because of the speed he's playing this at. He goes back. So this is this kind of up 3. Then you go back and play 7 8 10 in the B string, 7 8 11 in the high E string, and then we do 8 10 12 in the B string, 8 on the high E string, and he does 12 10 on that B string. Yeah, so he's kind of just rolling it there. Actually, just checking the transcription there, I think actually he probably does 8 10 12 8 12 before he jumps to the next bit. So this is the thing about this, has been played at speed. There's delay on. It's really hard to kind of distinguish what's going on. So what you're wanting is a general kind of guide area where you're kind of going with this, and then just kind of ramping it up. So yeah, so he does that. Then I do 10 12 13 on the high E string, the B string, sorry. And then what it sounds like, actually plays 10 and then 13 twice. But because of the speed he's playing it, he's probably intending to do 10, 12, 13, 10, 12, 13 there. That's your next kind of batch, group of 3. Yeah. Then our final batch is going to be 10, 12, 13 in the B string, 10, 12, 13 in the high E string again, then 12, 13, 15 in the B, 12, 13, 15 in the high E string, just as we did before, 13, 15, 17 on the B and E strings. And then he jumps up to 17, 18, 20 here, and then plays 17 on that high E string, and then 20th fret bend. Yeah, so that's your kind of end bit. So I like to think of it in those kind of 3 areas. You got this bit, yeah, or up to there, that's it. Then it goes, then you've got, yeah, but you're playing this 30 seconds, 108 BPM, you know, goes rapidly, really rapidly through it. So try and get the feel for the contour of it. I think this is one of these sort of phrases are really, really hard to nail precisely as the artist is doing. Nuno doesn't play it the same way, obviously, when he's doing it live. He's got a general flow. He's like, I'm going to go up here and then in that bend. It's the same sort of thing you're going for, but you can try and map it out into these 3 areas and then build it up to speed. Yeah. So good luck with that, guys. Next bit sounds like this. So once we've got all the way up here, we've now got a nice little A pentatonic minor kind of phrase up at the 20th or 17th fret here. So first thing I'm going to do, we come at this from a bend, then I'm going to do a pull off 20, 17 twice, yeah, then I'm going to do 20 in the B string, back up to 17 in the high E string, and then bend 20th fret B string, so something like that, yeah. Then what I'm going to do is play 17 in that B string, and then do 20, 17 pull off on the B string, and then 19 in the G, like that. Yeah. Then I play 17 in the B again, then bend 19th fret on that G string, play 20th fret of the B string, and then bend 19th fret again. That's quite an awkward bit. Kind of sounds like that. So that kind of whole phrase Yeah, when you put up to speed, kind of sounds like that. Yeah. So the thing about that, again, it's just getting these awkward little bends. Yeah, you can try and hold that finger on, but the Floyd, you hear that kind of note go flat. So what I tend to do is do the bend, and then play that note, and then do the bend again. Yeah. So that's that phrase. Next phrase sounds like this. So this is probably my favourite bit in the solo, just because it's got a funky little rhythm to it. So what we're going to be doing here, I've just done that bend. Now I'm going to jump and I'm going to be playing, if you think about your A pentatonic minor, in cage where you think of it like a G form, but now we've got this kind of 17-15 in the high E string, 17-15 in the B string, and 17-14 in the G, 17-14 in the D, 17-15 on the A. If you go to the A note there. So basically I've got these notes, B and E string, 17th fret, 15th fret. So what I'm going to do, that's my first little kind of group of notes here. So I'm playing 17 on the B, and then 15 in the high E string, and there's a gap. Then I play 15 on the B string, gap, and then 17 in the high E string, gap. Yeah, so you get that kind of cool rhythm to it. Then I'm going to play 15 in the B, and 15 in the high E string, 15 in the B, and then 17th fret the high E string. So it goes, yeah. Then I'm going to do 15 in the B, 15 in the E again, then 15 on the B on its own, 17 in the high E string, and then 15 on its own in the B string. Yeah, so it goes. So the whole thing together kind of goes. Yeah, really cool kind of rhythm. Yeah, before we get into the next phrase. So I love that just because it breaks up the kind of intensity of everything we've had so far. You know, with the big run up and these kind of bends, and he puts this little rhythmical kind of slant on it, which gives an extra kind of little touch. So next phrase sounds like this. So this next phrase, pretty much all kind of bluesy A pentatonic minor stuff. So we start it off is I'm going to play this little flourish. I'm doing 17, 16, 14 on the B string. Now I use the third, second, and first finger for that, and I'm just doing that as a pull off. So it's kind of like a triplet. Then I play 17 on that G string, and then back up to 14 fret the B string there. Then I do 17, 16, 14 on the G string, and then 17 on that D string. So you get that kind of phrase. Yeah. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to play 17, 14 on the G string, 17, 14 in the D string, and then after I've done that, I do a bend, and it feels like a 1.5 step bend there, and there's a little rest there, a little gap. So you have this. Yeah. Then I'm going to do 14 in the G, 17, 14 in the D. So it kind of goes. Again, these little gaps are coming in here. Then I'm going to do bend again on the G string, 17th fret. Little gap. And then I do 17, 14 in the G, 17, 14 in the D. Yeah. Then I've got another bend, 17th fret in the G string, gap, and then 17, 14 again on that G and D string. Yeah, so you've kind of got this little phrase, once you've done that, and it goes. Yeah, and then we end it off by playing 17 on the D string. Then I'm going to do quick slide 14 to 12 on the D string there. Yeah, then I do 14 in the D, 15 on that A string. I use the third and fourth fingers for that. And then I end it off by playing 12, 14 on the D string, 15, 12 on that A string. Yeah, so it kind of goes. Yeah, so that kind of whole phrase. That's the kind of flow of it once you kind of get it up. So again, these are the sort of rhythmical gaps in it that add kind of interest. But again, it's all that. You all that kind of bluesy kind of sounding, kind of pentatonic, kind of G form there. And that's it, guys. It's quite a short one, this one, but there's definitely a lot of notes in it. That run up, as I said, it's taken me a while to get to kind of that kind of point. Wish I had a little more time to kind of work on it, but it is what it is. So when you're working on it, as I said, think of breaking that down. Listen to the whole solo. Get a feel for the kind of flow of it. Of course, if you're a member on Patreon, you can come over, you can get the tab for it, slow it down, loop it, and get a listen to it and get kind of the flow of it, and then just kind of trying to match that, get that up to speed. There's a lot to be said for playing at speed and going back the way rather than playing slow and speeding up. What I mean by that is you're trying to get a feel for playing it at tempo, it physically kind of feels. Sometimes when you're trying to do these things and start from slow and speeding up, it makes it more involved than it really needs to be, if that makes sense. So as I said, come on over to the Patreon, you'll get access to that, you'll get access to the Helix patch I created for this as well, and you'll get access to all other materials we've got for all the stuff we've looked at Pornograffitti so far. Check out this playlist actually if you've not. So all the songs we looked at so far are in this playlist, and you can go and gorge on lots of Nuno shred. So thanks for watching, guys. Good luck with that, and I will hopefully see you soon.